Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio, everybody. What is going on? It is Gale here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Season 5 video. And today we're continuing on the episode 14 shenanigans, as not only did we just get the preview for episode 14, which of course you can go and check on my reaction to that, but we're also getting the first reactions to, of course, the episode itself, as there was a screening in Japan. Now, of course, this is going to be something that's quite interesting to me, of course, right? Because always first reactions can give you an indication on whether the episode is good or not. Now, of course, there will also be some bias because this is probably going to be a lot of dedicated people going and watching the screening, as it is a Monday, but nonetheless, it is still obviously the most dedicated fans that tend to also, be the most critical as well. At least I'd hope as well. So we're gonna have to wait and see on that front. I'm quite curious to see exactly how this is gonna pan out. This is not the first time we're doing this, of course, right? We've done it with episodes 12 and 13. We got a fair idea of what to expect with those episodes, and to be honest, they were bang on as well. And then it was the same thing with episodes 1 and 2 all those months ago when the season began. So far it's been 2 for 2. So let's see if it goes 3 for 3 and we get a fair idea on how episode 14 is going to look like come Wednesday, of course, right? Remember that we are going to be live for episode 14, and we will be doing a proper live reaction. And when I say live reaction, I do mean live reaction. I'm gonna be coming home, I won't change, I'll set up the live stream and we'll be watching the episode together. So be on the lookout for that live stream, of course, as well. But yeah, I'm very excited to, of course, do that, right? I'm very excited to do that. But obviously today we're here to take a look at the reaction. So let's have a look and see what the Japanese have to say about episode 14. So first and foremost, we have this tweet right here, of course, from the Danmachi Anime Twitter account, talking about the screening. Thank you to everyone who came. Please post your thoughts while being mindful of spoilers. Of course, keep that in mind that there may be people who may spoil a little bit about the episode, but fairly certain that usually they tend to be actually quite good on spoilers, surprisingly. Considering more often than not, the Japanese are the ones that err on the side of spoiling people more so than not spoiling people. It's good to see that usually whenever they do say this, the community responds in a positive way and actually doesn't share spoilers, which is always very good. So the next screening will be where the climax will finally take place. It'll be held on March 9th at Shinjuku. Of course, this is where they're going to be showcasing also episode 15, which we don't really care about, unfortunately, because of the fact that episode 15 will be airing on March 6th. So it really doesn't matter to us. We'll be getting to watch the episode before the screening happens. It's good for people who want to watch it on the big screen. I think that's one of the best things about, what they're doing here, is that they're airing the episodes on the big screen. But I think they've done it in a very good way, to be honest, because of course episode 14 screening happens today, which is 2 days prior to the episode releasing, and of course it means that only the certain few who are going to go watch it will watch it, but probably not be able to spoil it, right? And won't spoil it even, I should say, because of how so far it has been. So that's always very good. But I'm kind of glad the way they're doing it. It also generates them a good amount of revenue, and this is something I consider them doing in the foreseeable future as well, because people don't realize that, of course, not only are you getting money from, of course, putting it in the big screens. I mean, it's easy because you're getting money from not only the big screens, but you're also getting it from the TV side of things and everything, right? Not to mention, on top of all of that as well, it is just a double way of getting income rather than just one way of doing it. So it's a pretty smart way. Of course, you still have to bear the costs of, getting the time slots to do it and stuff like that, and of course inviting the voice actors and actresses to come and do it, of course, right? They've got Nobunaga, Minori Minase and stuff to come and participate in the screening and talk about their experiences and everything, which does add costs. But I mean, it's still a great way to kind of get people interested in Danmachi and also get, closer to the hardcore fans as well of the series. I think it's a fantastic way to do it, to be honest. I think it is a great way to do it. So let's read some of the first responses in the replies immediately, and then we can maybe take a look at obviously the we can take a look at the quotes, and then we can take a look at some of the other responses in on Twitter as well. The main event and the talk were both really fun. I'm looking forward to episode 15. Very good start already. I mean, the talk, I think, is always something that I'm always quite interested about as well, to be quite honest. Like, not only, obviously, I'm in it for the episode, of course, right? We're here to watch the episode and stuff, but I think also getting an idea of like what the voice actors think about, you know, the story, the direction, and how they feel about the performance they've done, you know, especially in the case of Inori Minase, who's been around for the last decade basically performing as Hestia. It's always super nice to see how, you know, she feels about how everything is going. And same thing with Nobunaga, who's a fairly new cast member. Of course, he was there in Danmimo, of course, no doubt, but he's as part of the anime cast. It's something that's completely brand new, right? Episode 14 was so amazing that I was in tears. I was also happy to hear the voice actors' passionate stories during the cast talk. Thank you for a wonderful event. I'm looking forward to the final episode. So, a very good positive response regarding episode 14. That's what we like to see. That's what we want to see. I'm just looking at the ones with the number episode 14. Episode 14 was the best. The special cast talk was a lot of fun. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to episode 15. Man, hey man, these guys are kind of they're kind of making me excited here. They're kind of hiring my expectations for episode 14. But no, on a serious note, episode 14 is going to be probably one of the biggest moments of Danmachi season 5, right? Because it is the final battle, right? And let's be real, it is the final battle. We're going to be seeing everybody going up against Totaro. We saw that in the preview reaction, which you guys can go and check out, of course, like I said. But it is the final big battle, right? It is the final big battle, and it is going to lead into the finale, basically. So it has to be really good, and I'm kind of glad that they decided to take those 3 weeks to make it work. I know some people will say like this adaptation woes, and yes, it is woes. Let's not get it twisted. The fact that they even had to delay it means there has been production woes entirely. So correctly so. But I'd rather there be production woes and them taking the time to perfect it, rather than them having production woes and still trying to push on, and us having a mess of a series ending season, effectively, if you know what I mean. I'd rather it be done well, and I'm glad that they've taken the right decision, and I'm hoping that you know, they do better with whatever is going to be coming up next, whatever it may end up being. Stray Records, Sword Art Tourist season 6, whatever it ends up being next, they have to do a good job from the next season onwards, learning from their mistakes, you know. I don't know who needs to learn from the mistakes still to this point, to be quite honest, because you could argue it could be JC staff, it could be Warner Bros, it could be SB Creative, it could be Omori Sensei himself as well. Because let's not get it twisted, he is also part of the anime production team. He is constantly having meetings with them, so he also has a thing where he also has an opportunity to speak up about it. So him not speaking up about it and questioning the decisions, yes, I know that he isn't probably the most experienced in production, but now that he's participated in nearly 5 seasons of Danmachi, Vistoria season 1, there's got to be something coming out of your mouth, Amori. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You gotta speak up, brother. You gotta be speaking up. But yeah, that's just my opinion on that, to be honest. That's just my opinion, of course. But yes, I attended the screening. I had a great time watching episodes 11 to 14 of Danmachi Season 5 on the theater's big screen and with the right sound system. I'm glad I was able to participate and hear Koyanagi's heartfelt and grateful stories, Shimazaki's San's entertaining talk full of hospitality, and Manase-san's memories of Danmachi. Alan's artwork was amazing. Alan moment coming in Danmachi season. I mean, it makes sense because we know in Dancrow we're going to be getting Alan most likely this week as a brand new unit. So it makes sense that they're doing Alan most likely. This was one of the comments we saw in the replies, but they've added more maybe here. Let's see. Participation in the screening of Goddess of Fertility chapter Faction War. Nobunaga Heirin's passionate performance in episode 14 was truly amazing. Thank you, Inori-chan and Nobunaga-san and Koyanagi-san, for your passionate talk. I'm also looking forward to episode 15. I also enjoyed hearing about the collaboration between Data Live and Danmimo. Man, I would have loved to learn more about that, because the Data Live and Danmimo collaboration is probably the... Would I say it's the best? Yeah, I would say it was the best collab in Danmimo, by far and away. I'd say Data Live was by far and away the best. I was thinking maybe you could argue potentially Strike the Blood or Another Eden as well, and maybe even Kino's Journey. Goblin Slayer I found it was good in moments, but I felt other moments it felt a little bit flat. Attack on Titan was downright the worst collab in Danmimo, sorry to say. I mean, it was the most out there one, and it was great for that out there-ness. Like, in terms of out there-ness, Attack on Titan takes it. But the fact that the story was so bad, I don't know about that one, Chief. I think since then they've kind of been a bit better with, or since then they were a bit better with the collab choices, I would say. I will say that for sure. It was not great. It was not great. I enjoyed watching it again this time. I was happy to be able to see episode 14 early on. I'm happy to see my favorite idol doing well. I assume, well, they could be talking about Nobunaga. You never know. Nobunaga is the GOAT, by the way. He's obviously I know Nobunaga from, of course, Fate Grand Order specifically, of course, the voice actor of Ritsuka or Godao, basically, right? So yeah, that's how I know personally Nobunaga most. But yeah, I also heard a lot of great stories from the cast. I felt that this Danmachi season 5 is a heartwarming story with each character's sense of justice and feelings intertwined. I'm looking forward to the broadcast, the TV broadcast, and the final 15th episode. So am I indeed. I'm so glad that the Danmachi community is super accepting of Nobunaga as Heirin, because it's such a, I love Nobunaga as Ritsuka, of course. One of my favorite, like, amazing performance in Fate, to be quite honest, by Nobunaga. But it's such a different role from Ritsuka and what he does for Fate in Danmachi. And I'm super glad that the community is super happy with how he's been performing and stuff. And I'm very glad about it as well, to be honest. I love the way he's been performing in Danmachi as Heirin, to be honest. It's great. It is honestly fantastic. Everybody's super happy about the talks that they were having and stuff like that. I think what sells these screenings is the talks, and I think that's something that I hope they continue to do maybe in the near future. Thank you for seeing the screening and the special talk. It was really great seeing Danmachi on the big screen. The talk was mostly about the scenes from episode 14. Nobunaga-san was facing Koyonagi-san with his old body. He talked enthusiastically about the Freya Familia. Please come again to Danmachi Radio, lol. I mean, that is something that I would love to see more of. But yeah, I think with that, let's take a look at some of the responses in the reply section, of course, of season 4. And let's see what people have to say about the episode. I participated in the Faction War screening. I watched episodes 11 to 14 at the theater. It was great to hear such valuable talk. I can't wait for the final episode 15. It seems like everybody's super excited about 15 based on, of course, episode 14's performance, which is super good. I think a part of me really hopes that episode 15 is like an hour-long episode or something, because I feel like I'd love for the fight to be in my head. Again, like I said in my reaction video, I think I need to read the volume 18 stuff from where the anime is left off and from where I left off in the last episode, right? And check out the rest of the novel, because I feel like the fight is long enough to where it can overrun into episode 15. So I would prefer episode 15 to be a little bit longer, but I don't know if it's an hour-long worthy need kind of thing, if you know what I mean. I don't know if it's worth it to have it be an hour long, or is it fine if it just overruns by 10-15 minutes in the next episode and then the rest is the finale epilogue stuff, basically. But yeah, I attended the screening and it was so impressive in the cinema. I was able to concentrate and the talk show was fun too. I'm looking forward to episode 15. Inori-chan is so cute. We've got a lot of Inori fans going to the episode premiere, it seems like, which is good to see. I mean, hey, Inori Minase is probably one of the best voice actresses. I respect why a lot of fans are going and watching her, or going to see her specifically as well, to be honest. On the last day of my vacation, I went to a pre-screening of Danmachi. I was so moved to see 4 episodes on the big screen. The latest episode, episode 14, there's already so much content for one episode. I wonder if it's really gonna end with just one more episode. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'll look back on episode 1 and then watch episode 15. Photos were allowed on the autograph posters too. Nice. But yeah, no, I that's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about, I guess. It's just like, you know, you think about just so much content and then you look at the book and it was like, oh, it actually matches perfectly or something. But yeah, I'm quite curious to see how it all pans out. I'm glad I went to the Faction War screening. It really is impressive when you see it on the big screen. It was a great episode that made me realize once again how much I love Danmachi. man, people are gassing up this episode quite a lot, it seems like. In Danmachi, everyone has their own beliefs, and even though they are confused and troubled by conflicts with others, they stick to their own beliefs in their own way without wavering, which is really cool. The way they process of how to get to that point is depicted, which is also brilliant. Yeah, that is also, I mean, of course, we've seen this a lot with Bell and Ryu and so on and so forth, right? It's something, of course, we need to see, of course, on the Sword Orotoria side with like Finn and everybody else as well still, but yeah, it's something that's seen quite often, and of course, you know, we're probably gonna see it in this episode, you know, between Alan, Hayden, Hegni, Freya, Tarl, and so on and so forth, on their feelings towards the Freya family as a whole, and of course their goals and objectives, you know. So that's gonna be interesting to see, of course. Listening to the cast members talk, I was able to dig deeper into the story and think about all the different thoughts that went into making episode, I assume 14 they meant here, not 15, and it really brought home to me what an incredible series it is. Thank you for the screening and the wonderful special talk. Very positive, man. This is very good. I'm glad to see all these heavily positive responses to Danmachi season 5 episode 14. It's great. It's so good. My favorite Minase Inori male voice actor, my favorite Shimazaki Nobunaga, my current favorite Koyanagi Yoshihiro. So basically everybody who was there. This screening was seriously packed with love. What's more, their explanations of Atarl and Hayden's thinking matched so well with their explanations that I was nodding my head the whole time. I was really looking forward to episode 14, or I am really looking forward to episode 15, I assume it is. It was a very fun meeting, and Inori-chan is cute. Very nice. But yeah, no, I think having those specific voice actors there, you have a blend of, well, Otarl has been around for a decade as well, but the thing is, he's never really been the focal character, and he's never been really a primary character until now, right? He's basically an antagonist for the season, right? And Nobunaga is completely fresh, right? So it's good to see, of course, their thoughts on how the series is. Like I said, you know, it's good to see their thoughts on the series and how it's gone, and just generally their approach as you know, some people who have just entered the main frame, you could say, of Danmachi, whereas Hestia has been the main character for so long, so you get that perspective as well as somebody who's been in and out of Danmachi for so long. You know, especially in every episode, I think you've had her basically, right? Almost every episode, of course. Can't really say much about season 4, right? Hestia was not as present there, but still, yeah. Okay, so this is somebody who's pretty much binge watched season 5, of course, right? Which is good to see. But yeah, it's good to see, of course, a lot of positive reactions to episode 14, of course, right? I'd saved so this person didn't even watch episodes 11 to 13, it seems like. So that actually would be something really special to have done, to be honest. It would have taken a lot, I'm not gonna lie. It would have taken a lot, but I would have loved to seen it. Danmachi is really cool. It really suits watching it on the big screen. I'm looking forward to watching the final episode of season 5. Oh man, I do believe, like, I think Danmachi on the big screen would be a lot more impactful than watching it on the TV, especially when you have the ability to pause and stuff like that. And you know, the thing is, I think this is such a big difference, because when you're sitting down at your desk and you're nitpicking, you're the season, right? Whereas on the big screen, you're watching it all in one go. It's the same thing I have with Marvel movies and so on and so forth, where you're just watching it and going with the flow, and in the cinema you'll really enjoy it, unless it's really bad, like Batman v Superman levels are bad or something like that. Then it's like, okay, you can kind of notice it. But like even Marvel movies, like some that I now don't really like that much, I loved when I first watched, you know, on the cinema. Iron Man 2, for example, like, okay, Iron Man 2 is a bit of a guilty pleasure. I still like it a little bit, but back when I watched it in the cinema, elite, top tier, unbelievably good. Now you look back on it and you watch it when you watch it on TV or something like that, on Disney Plus or whatever, and it's like, okay, maybe it wasn't the best necessarily, maybe it's not the greatest, but that's the beauty of watching it on the big screen, I think, as well, is that you kind of ignore the flaws and you get to see the big spectacles, and especially with the battles and everything that happen in Danmachi, yeah, it's good. I attended the screening of Danmachi. It was a luxury to be able to watch the first few episodes of the show on the big screen and watch with the sound system of a movie theater. That's also actually something that's a good shout as well. You know, one thing I have to give credit for in Danmachi, like ignoring the animation side of things and all that, the voice acting, and also the sounds, the sound effects and stuff, that is elite level in Danmachi, in my opinion. That's so good. So seeing that, of course, is amazing. It must be amazing in the movie theater. It must be insane in the movie theater. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Let's scroll here. So we read this already. I think we read this already. We did read that already. Let's see something else. Yeah, this one will be good. I went to an advanced screening of episode 14. Hegnikan was great, the Master was great, and Alan was great. Hot. It's sad that it's ending with one more episode. I want to keep watching Danmachi. The cast talk was also fun. Hopefully we get something good in as an announcement next week. I'm sure we should be getting the next announcement for something at the end of the season, is my guess, because we still have to get something for the 10th anniversary of the anime, and I think that we're going to get an announcement sooner rather than later, I'd imagine. The Danmachi faction war screening was amazing. I was moved to tears by everything. Ryu-san's strong and beautiful figure, the bonds between the gods and the familiar, the true feelings of my beloved Heirin-san, and the feelings of each member of the Freya familiar holds. The cast talk was also very passionate and amazing. I'm so happy to have come across this wonderful piece. I love it. It's good to see everybody loving it, man. It's so good to see everybody really enjoying the season. It's good. It's very, very good. I watched episodes 11 to 14. Yeah, this person ignored episode 11, which episode 11 aired 2 months ago, so they endured the spoilers of the TV broadcast. The storyline was captivating, powerful, moving, tearful, and episodes from... Okay, that's a bit weird. I was completely absorbed in the show. I'm looking forward to the final episode, episode 15. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it as well, mate. I'm very much looking forward to it as well. But yeah, everybody went into it just knowing that they were... That's so surprising that they must have skipped out on watching episode 11 and just were like, you know what, let's wait to watch the episode. That's insane to me, man. That is so sick, though. That is so sick. I went to a screening and I was so moved to be able to watch my favorite episode 12 on the big screen. I'm so touched. Of course, every episode was great. I really hope they revive the radio show. So I think they must have talked about potentially reviving a Danmachi radio show, which I think would be a great way to get more people, you know, interested in Danmachi as well, because you've got the voice cast coming every so often to talk about Danmachi, and also just generally, you know, talk about the series in some way, maybe stuff about Dancrow, Danmachi Full Underwater and Light, the anime, and so on and so forth. Maybe even hold an event to celebrate the 10th anniversary. Maybe. For now, I really want to see episode 15, and Inorin was so close and cute. I'm happy, of course. STF fan right here. We got a lot of STF fans in Japan, clearly here, man. We got a lot of STF fans, which is great to see. I'm super late. I watched episode 12. I cried many times, and it wasn't just 30 minutes of fatigue. This is unfair. Belle is so cool, but Astrea and Ryu are also cool. The moment the flames appeared, it was all over, and it increased by rank by 2. It's all connected. Why did I hesitate to rewatch season 4? Damn. But yeah, no, everybody's in love with episode 14 as well, and of course is gassing it up. Of course, the fact that it also... you know, they were able to enjoy this production as well. So it's a blend of people really enjoying, obviously, the talk between Nobunaga, Koyanagi, and of course Inori Minase. And then of course this episode itself has been touted as pretty darn good. So let's wait and see, of course, right? I'm glad that the episode's gone really well and gone down extremely well. Of course, you know, we're gonna wait and see how it goes on Wednesday itself. We'll see for ourselves on how good the episode is. Of course, we'll see the episode on Wednesday, and then next week is the final episode as well. So we're very much in the final stretch. We're in the final stretch of Danmachi season 5, and then we're gonna have to wait and see what's in store for us for the rest of the year, and maybe what the years to come. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Of course, if you guys enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, all that sort of good stuff. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below regarding the reactions, your expectations. Let me know. I'm quite curious to see what you guys have to say down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.